Hello everyone. Your board exams, I see theory as well as practical, they are knocking at the door. So I hope all of you are preparing well. And in this video, I am going to discuss your ISC practical paper for the session 2020-2021, that is coming in the month of April-May. Now, the first thing that I want to convey you, this year the council is not going to send any question paper for the practical exam. Keeping the pandemic situation in mind and sanitization and all the things, this year it will be solely the visiting examiner who will prepare the question paper. That is point number 1. So council is not going to send any question paper for practical exam. It is solely the visiting examiner who will set the paper. Point number 2. Keeping this social distancing in mind, the whole batch of any particular school, that will be divided into several batches depending on the capacity of the practical lab. For example, the lab can accommodate 20 students and total 60 students are there. So it will be divided into 3 different batches, and accordingly they will be given dates and timings for their practical exam. Now remember, each of the batch will get a different question paper. In the previous case, when council sent the question paper, each and every student get the same question paper. But this year, the students will be divided into batches, and they don't need to come very early morning to the school and wait there for the first batch and then they will start their practical for the second batch. No. This time the schools will not hold the students for a long time. You will be held in the school for like 3 to 4 hours, 3 hours exam. It may be maximum 1 hour earlier. Okay. So different batches will have different question paper, and the question paper will be set by the visiting examiner. Now the pattern is given by the council that what are there in the question paper. So you know your practical exam that contains total 30 marks. 100 marks of chemistry, 70 is the theory, 30 is the practical. Now in this 30 marks you have 3 portions. Number 1, project work. I hope everyone have submitted their project work, and that contains 10 marks. Out of 30, 10 marks is carried by your project work. Number 2, the lab manual. The experiments that you do during your practical classes, you write them down in your practical copy or lab manual, get it signed by your subject teacher. That lab manual carries 5 marks. So remaining 15 marks, that is your practical exam. Practical exam, and that carries 15 marks. Now suppose you do the practicals very well, your observation comes also very distinct, then also you cannot ensure that you will get 15 out of 15 in this part, because the marks, this 15 marks is given in your paper. You are not going to show your observation to the visiting examiner and he is putting marks. No, your paper, your answer script will actually represent your practical performance. So it is very important to know how to write the practical answer script, because your practical answer script will represent your performance in the practical exam, and that will actually carry the marks. So we must know very properly how to write the practical paper. So I am coming part by part to that. Now in your practical paper there will be 3 questions. Question 1, question 2 and question 3. Question 1 is related to your titration, and that carries 7 marks total. Now in our syllabus we have 2 titration. One is KMnO4 versus oxalic acid H2C2O4. Another is KMnO4 versus ammonium ferrous oxalate or simply Moore salt. I have already shown you how to perform the titration in my previous video. Today we will discuss how to write it to get 7 out of 7. Now, out of the 7 marks, 3 marks is carried by the titer value, that is the concordant reading, the titer value. Now suppose the original value, the expected value, suppose it is 23.2 ml. Suppose this is the titer value. Now what happens if you are getting the value 23.4 and doing the calculations? There is nothing to worry. If you are doing the things with 23.4, you will get full marks. So what is the thing that you need to know? If this is the expected value, plus minus 0.5 ml is allowed. So suppose the expected value is 23.2, you are getting 23.4, your friend beside you is getting 23.5, you don't need to bother that 23.5 should be the correct value, so I make it forcefully 23.5. No need to that. It is not necessary for all the 20 students of a batch that everyone will get exactly the same value. It may be 0.1, 0.2 above, it may be 0.1, 0.2 below. That depends on how well you do the pipetting, whether there is water droplets previously present in the burette or not, how are you seeing the burette, how are you operating the burette. So in all these steps the value depends. So it may be plus minus 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, up and down. That is nothing to worry about. Okay, so don't try to make your value exactly same to your friend doing beside you. You do the titration properly as I have shown in my previous video. Whatever value you are getting, you do all the calculations with that. Remember, the school provides one value to the visiting examiner. That value plus minus 0.5. Suppose 23.2 is the value. In that case, starting from 22.7 to 23.7. In this range, if you are getting 22.8, you will get full marks, 3 out of 3. If you are getting 22.9, if you are getting 23.0, everyone will get full marks. So there is nothing to worry about. Okay, just do the titration properly, methodically. Is this thing clear? I hope it is clear. Now the remaining 4 marks, out of 7, 3 marks is carried out by the titer value. Not only that, even if your value is out of this range, then only 1 marks will be deducted. You will get 2 out of 3. So don't get panicked in the lab. Just perform the titration the way it should be performed. Now the remaining 4 marks, now there will be 4 questions, 4 calculation. Each will carry 1 marks. And that is also divided into half plus half. Half marks is for correct formula and half marks is for the value. So this part I will discuss in my next video. In this video I am doing the general discussion, how the marks are distributed, then how to do this calculation, what is the exact question for the titration, that I will discuss in the next video. So in this 4 calculation, half marks is for correct formula. Suppose you need the molarity. Suppose you are asked to calculate the molarity and gram per liter concentration is given. So gram per liter concentration divided by molecular weight equals to molarity. This formula contains half marks, and then you put the correct value, find the correct value of molarity, that will carry half marks. So don't forget to write the formula. I will discuss these 4 things, how to do the calculation using an example in my next video. Okay, so this is about your titration. The first question number 1, 7 marks titration, 3 marks for titer value, the school provides one value, your value should come in the range plus minus 0.5 of that, and then there are 4 calculations they ask you to do. You will do that. Half marks for correct formula, half marks for the correct value. So that is about your question number 1, and then in my next video I will discuss it in a little bit details. Now come to question number 2. Question number 2 can be of 3 types. Okay, question number 1, or rather type 1, you will be given 2 organic samples, C13 and C14, 2 organic compounds, C13 and C14. You know what are the organic compounds in your syllabus. I am repeating again. First is benzoic acid, it may be glycerol, it may be aniline, it may be formaldehyde, or it may be acetone. So I have shown you the experiments, how to perform them. Now in this question, if type 1 is coming, that is 2 organic compounds, samples will be given. So under question number 1 of question number 2, question 2.1 Roman 1, you will be given 3 experiments for C13. Remember, the experiments will be given. They will, suppose they are giving formaldehyde, they will here they will mention that use the compound with Tollens reagent. So in this question, what you need to write is the correct observation. Okay, for C13 3 experiments will be given, and then Roman 2 for C14 again 3 experiments will be given. These 3 experiments will be given in the question paper. Suppose you know 5 experiments for benzoic acid, so you don't need to perform all the 5 experiments. You need to perform only the 3 experiments which are given in the question paper, only those 3 experiments, and you need to write the correct observation. So 3 correct observation, each carry half marks. All the 3 correct observations each carry half marks. So suppose the compound is formaldehyde, you have done resorcinol test, Fellings test, all the 3 tests. So you write the correct observation, you get 1.5, and then conclusion, given compound is formaldehyde. This carry another half marks. Okay, so 3 experiments given, you will write in tabular form. I will discuss in details how to write in another video. This is the general discussion of the whole paper. So 3 experiment given, you will write in tabular form. In the experiment column, you will write just the given experiment in the question paper, but try to write it in passive voice. In your question paper, it will be written in active voice. It is better to write the experiment column in passive voice, because you have performed that and that you are writing. In the observation column, you will write the correct observation, and then final conclusion, the given compound, whatever compound is given, you will write that. So 3 into half plus half, 2 marks. In the same way, C14, 3 into half plus half marks. So this is the 4 marks for question 2 type 1. What is type 2? In type 2, you will be given C13 organic compound and C14 food sample. And there are 2 food samples in your syllabus. One is carbohydrate and another is protein. So I have shown you already the test for carbohydrate, that is for glucose. So suppose glucose is the compound given to you, and the 3 experiments will be also given, the experiments will be given. So you will write the experiment column from the question paper, but just change the voice. In the question paper, it will be given in active voice, you write in passive voice. And then the correct observation for glucose, those 3 observation, 3 into half, and then final conclusion, the given compound is or the given food sample contains carbohydrate bracket glucose. If you don't write glucose, no problem, but you should write carbohydrate. Okay, so that is type 2. And type 3 is your kinetic experiment that I will discuss in another video, that is of thiosulfate reaction. Colloidal sulfur is formed. So using stopwatch how you do the kinetic experiment, that I will discuss in details in another video. Okay, so type 3 is kinetic experiment. Here you need graph paper, you need to find the rate of reaction, order of reaction, etc. Those things using stopwatch, etc. Okay, so that is about your question number 2. There are 3 types of question, either 2 organic compounds, or 1 organic compound, 1 food sample, or kinetic experiment. And the marks distribution is 3 experiments will be given. The correct observation contains half marks each, and finally the conclusion, what is the compound, that contains half marks. So now I will move to question number 3. Now come to question number 3, that is the inorganic salt analysis. You will be given a salt. Just be sure that the salt will be white, not a colored salt. You will never be given a colored salt. And you will be always given a soluble salt, soluble in water. You will never be given any insoluble salt in your practical exam. These 2 you can be sure. Now this again contains total 4 marks. Question number 3, inorganic salt analysis. You will be given one solid white salt which is soluble in water. Now how this 4 marks is distributed? First you need to find the group of cation, the correct group of the cation, that contains 1 marks. Now suppose you are getting aluminium 3+, okay, so it belongs to your group 3. Suppose aluminium 3+, that belongs to group 3. So if you just write that the cation in the given salt belongs to group 3, you will not get 1 marks. You first have to show group 0 cation absent, then you have to show group 1 cation absent, group 2 cation absent. Only then you are eligible to write, okay, group 3 cation is present. So if it belongs to group 4, you have to show 0, 1, 2, 3 all are absent. Only then you can say group 4 cation is present. So if aluminium 3+ is there and you are writing only aluminium 3+ belongs to group 3 which is present, and you are not showing these 3 are absent, you will not get this 1 marks. So be careful that to which group it belongs. You have to show all the previous groups are absent, then you write, okay, this group is present. So this carry 1 marks. Then confirmatory test for cation, that contains 1.5 marks. And confirmatory test for anion, that we generally do with sodium carbonate extract, that contains another 1.5 marks. Now in your practical paper I will discuss this part again in details, how to write in your answer script. That part I will make 3 different videos. One is for question number 1, how to write it, then for question number 2, how to write it, then for question number 3. Here I have just discussed about the question paper and how the marks are distributed, which particular things you have to write, which will carry you the marks, which will give you the marks. So overall total 15 marks. Question number 1 regarding titration, 7 marks, titer value 3 marks, 4 calculations, each 4 into 1 marks. Now in the calculation part, writing the correct formula half marks and correct value again half marks. So that is for the 7 marks, question number 1. Question number 2, there can be 3 types. In type 1, there are 2 organic compounds. 3 experiments for each of the compounds will be given. You just have to write the correct observation. Each correct observation carry half marks. And then final conclusion, which compound is present, that carry another half marks. Same for compound number 2, that is C14, or it may be a food sample in type 2. In that case also the 3 experiments will be given. You just have to write the correct observation 3 into half and the final conclusion, that is another half. And then question number 3, you will be given an inorganic salt. You have to show which particular group cation is present by writing the previous group absent, that carry 1 marks, and then the confirmatory test for the cation 1.5 marks, confirmatory test for anion 1.5 marks. Now in this whole practical exam, what are the things that you need to show to the visiting examiner? Only 2 things. One is the titer value, that is when you do the titration you are getting suppose 23.5, that value, so you have to show it to the visiting examiner that I am getting 23.5. he will check your burette whether it is 23.5 or not. You will write in your paper and he will encircle it and do a signature for that value, and using that value you will do the calculation. So one thing is the titer value that you need to show to the visiting examiner, and then these 2 confirmatory tests. Remember, you don't need to show the observations for organic compound or food sample. You don't need to show to the visiting examiner. Only 2 things, one is the titer value and another is the confirmatory test for cation and anion. You don't even need to show which group the cation belongs to. You don't need to show. You have to show the confirmatory test. Suppose aluminium 3+, so that blue litmus test, that flex cum, that test you have to show, and suppose it is nitrate anion, so you just show the ring, the formation of the ring. So the 2 confirmatory test and the titer value, that's all you need to show to the visiting examiner. So this was our general discussion about this 15 marks, and as I said 10 marks for the project that you have already submitted, and if your lab manual is okay then also you will it is expected you will get 5 out of 5. So in this 15 marks, in our next video, first we will discuss question number 1, that titration, how to write the whole part, what type of calculations they ask you to write, to do it, up to how many decimal places you will take the value using the calculator. All those things we will come up in our next video. Till then, study well, your exams are knocking at the door, and be well, remain well, and if you are liking these videos, please do subscribe it, like it and share it as much as possible. Thank you.